right, next episode of the Seven Figure Sparky pod. And if you're watching this on YouTube, and you probably see my eyes have bags under it, the reason for that is we went out last night with our Melbourne members to meet Maiden, and wasn't a big one, but it was still big enough for me to wake up early and have some bags in my eyes and maybe a bit of a croaky voice because I get passionate when I'm speaking all night. But we're joined today from an absolute legend, a Sparky Sales Systems member. We are joined with Isaak from Greenway Electrical. Welcome, Isaak.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Man, you were there last night. Before we get into it, I just want to say you were there last night at Meet Maiden. How did you like the dinner?
Oh, it was grouse. It was
Grouse,
good seeing
yeah.
all the boys. Just getting everyone around was a good feeling. Just knowing you have a community to be around. It's grouse.
I like that. I love that. It's because and the food was pretty good at Meet Maiden. I rated
Grouse.
that.
Yeah, it was unreal.
Unreal. Yeah,
When they started bringing out some steaks, it was grouse. Best.
Yeah, it's they've got a lot of good stuff. I think Melbourne wins in hospitality, that's for sure, over Sydney. We've got the beaches.
Yeah.
No, I think we've got better beaches.
Better weather.
Better weather, maybe. But yeah, you guys definitely win in the hospitality sort of sector. But no, I think it was pretty cool. I think you were speaking with, who were you speaking with? I think you were down with
Ali
and Alpe,
yeah,
Neighborhood
Ali,
Electrical.
yeah.
There was, I think Ben was down there, Bo was down there. Yeah,
Bo,
sweet.
Yeah.
All the Melburnians. Nice.
Yeah.
And I'll get straight into it. So for those that don't know who Isaak is, I know our members know who you are. Who's Isaak?
24 years old, or just about to be. Started my business about 6 months ago. Pretty much I did a year out of my time, and then just went straight into it. So year out of my time, went straight into business, and it's been grouse so far.
6 months into business.
Yeah.
Okay. And does that mean like work slow? Are you like not doing much? Like what are you doing?
At the moment, it's been pretty flat out for this whole year so far, all of January and up to now.
So January's been busy?
January's been very busy. Yeah, it's just been 7 days a week, just trying to get it done as quick as possible. But yeah, I think in the next month or so, I'm looking at hiring. So
Wow.
that'll be exciting.
In 6 months. Okay, so I'm going to hold on to that for a little bit because we've said you've been in business for 6 months, so that's not a long time at all. You've said you're busy in January where most people are historically slower. So you felt no sort of slowness in January. It was, well, like we say in the program, winners are winning on January 1st, right? So you were just like, let's just go straight into it and let's crush it, or?
Yeah. Well, it's just been flat out. Like recently, I've been constantly 2 weeks booked in advance, and it's just been trying to get everything done
Right.
to make up for the next day. So
That's awesome. And what sort of work are you doing?
it's all resi maintenance stuff.
All resi maintenance?
A lot of pools, a lot of just normal day-to-day electrical stuff that I'm doing. So
That's
nothing
interesting.
special.
I love that because a lot of people when they start, they have no work because they go from, I think, did you come back from a Europe holiday or something before?
Yeah, well, about 2 months before I started.
Yeah, I remember because I think you reached out to us and then you're like, I'm going to Europe. Where'd you go in Europe?
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
I went with a couple of my mates and we went on a Kentucky, and
Yeah.
it was just, I think we ended up doing like 11 countries. Or something.
Wow.
It was pretty crazy. Yeah,
I recommend everyone to do that. It's
Yeah.
a good time. It's definitely a good time. And so basically you went on a Europe holiday. You're how old, sorry?
24.
So you're 24, 23, 24.
Yeah.
23, 24. You went on a Kentucky holiday, came back to Australia, to Melbourne. You service Melbourne wide?
Yeah.
Yep. Service Melbourne wide. And you go, you know what? I'm going to start a business. And that business is now 6 months old. Now, most people, when they start a business, they go, oh my God, like I've got no work, particularly when you came back from Melbourne. It's like, you know, I've got no work. I've got no money. Just bent it all on a Kentucky or something. So it's like, I've got to find something to keep me busy.
Yeah.
And most people would go straight to builders because builders keep them busy. How come you didn't do that?
I've obviously always heard the horror stories around builders. And then I think as soon as I pretty much started, I think 2 weeks into it, I jumped in with you and I was watching a lot of your Instagram reels and all that type of stuff and just seeing how bad builders are. And obviously I've got a lot of family members that worked with builders and there's been a couple that have gotten real fucked over by them. So
Yeah.
I've always wanted to stay away from builders. like I've been approached by a few now, and they asked me to go out and check a site out, and I've just been like, nah, I'm all good. I don't even want to touch it. So
That's incredible. And I know you say it quite casually, but I can't stress this enough. Like most people would be like, you say no, like you're 6 months into business and you're saying no to work. Most people at 6 months, they're just like in that rat race, hamster wheel, not sure what to do. But, you know, is that like how important is having a good lead gen strategy? Is that why you're getting this work, or what are you doing? Is it word of mouth? Like, is it having some good, like a good strategy behind getting the work is helping you sort of propel forward?
Yeah, well, I think I started with a lot of business development, going out to other businesses like pool companies and lighting stores, and trying to get a few of them on the books so they could start sending me leads, which I think that's helped me out the most, I think. But then on top of that, I'm doing magnet drops and all the boring stuff that people think wouldn't work anymore, that everyone goes to digital and everyone thinks that that's the way to go. But I think the boring stuff still does work because it's worked for the past.
Boring wins, right?
Boring wins. Yeah.
we say that in the program. You say it as well. And it so does. Like boring wins, and having a combination. Like we're very big on, of course, having a recession-proof business. Doing both online and offline strategies at work, but everyone just goes straight to online and then gets a bad. What's that, sorry?
They get done by it.
They get done, yeah. And they exactly right. They get done by it, and then they have a bad taste in their mouth. Oh, this marketing company did me dirty, and blah blah blah. Like everything works, but there's strategies within strategies, and if you don't know the strategies within strategies, it's just like, and people think they know the strategies until they know the real strategies, right?
Well, that's the thing. Like with online marketing, you obviously have to spend. It's a pay to win game.
Yeah,
and I think people go into it early on in business, and then they've got shit conversion rates with their sales. They've got shit average ticket sales. So then when they do get to it and they're spending $150 on a lead and they don't convert it, they're like, fuck, what am I doing with this? Like it's just a waste of money for them. And then it just ends up spiraling out of control. So I think getting the basics down right, learning how to sell, and then doing all the basic stuff that is cheaper as well, learning all the skills, learning all the objection handling, everything like that, I think is the most important part. Because then you can go spend money when you do have the money.
Oh, so you're saying to get sales training, have a process, learn your systems, learn your numbers, learn the business before you spend money on marketing?
100%.
100%. Okay, good. And why I obviously 100% agree with that. Because we even said on the last pod with Ben that we get a lot of people that inquire and they go, I'm not sure if I should invest in a marketing company or invest in Sparky sales systems. Like, what are your thoughts?
Mentoring.
Yeah.
Mentoring 100%, because you need to know the fundamentals to actually sell. Like you're not going to be able to just sell if you don't know what to say, if you're not confident with the pricing, if your pricing's low and you go out to a site and you are only getting a $500 to $800 average ticket, then those ads aren't going to last. You're not going to be able to maintain it.
I love this. And like, so we've said that, you've been in business for 6 months, you're crushing it. You're very, passionate about resi maintenance, which is awesome. And you haven't spiraled down. I think you've missed the trap. And a lot of our members, I remember you even got brought up on our Sydney, just by people like, man, Isaac's crushing it. So like a lot of the members know who Isaak is, because, Isaac's is one of our members that's very active on our closed Facebook community that, we celebrate success in there. Well, would you agree? Like in Australia, we've got this tall poppy syndrome. Like, do you see that?
Yeah, not a lot of people want to talk about numbers.
Yeah, a lot of people are very scared to talk about. Do you find that?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think, it's like a taboo subject to talk about how much money you're making. It's like you're just ripping people off if you're making good money.
Where does that come from?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But I think we need to start, as an industry, looking at celebrating each other and pushing the industry up, not bringing it back down.
Yeah, I love that because a lot of people are just like, oh, that you must have ripped them off. How do you sleep at night? It's like, well, I sleep well because I can pay my mortgage, I can pay my staff, I can grow my business, my customers love me.
Exactly.
I sleep easy. How do you sleep?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Stressing around the next day. It's like,
yeah. So you kind of never went down that path of. It sounds like you kind of skipped you skipped a step that most contractors fall down. Most people fall down the hamster wheel with contractors, the hamster wheel with $110 an hour. But I think you were you got into the mentorship before you even started the business. You're like, Kentucky, mentorship, we're on. And I remember, I think we're doing a Zoom, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. We're doing a Zoom. I think we're doing our 6-step sales system, and we do a whip around with Know Your Numbers, and you come in, I think within the second week, and you were like, oh, you tell me, within the second week of, sign up and you sort of going into your business, where were you at?
Well, actually, so my first week I went out with a few of your boys.
Oh, the ride along,
yeah,
of course.
I did the ride along.
Okay.
So then I saw how much they were selling things for.
Yeah.
And then I started that next week. I just went door to door, started knocking on doors,
Yep.
offering free electrical safety checks and all that type of stuff. I think the first week back I did 7.
Yep.
And then the next week I did 15-ish around, which was pretty crazy. It was a lot of work to just walk around all of my area and just knock on doors. And I think it's important though. I think it's important to get a lot of rejection right at the start.
Yeah.
And then once I got a sale, I would get in the van and I'd be like, fuck yeah. Like it was the best thing in the world, it was the best feeling in the world. So yeah, I think
15,000. So your second week in biz. So basically, and just we'll backtrack on that. How was the ride along? So you came from Melbourne to Sydney, right? That's how keen you were. Because I don't think, what was your apprenticeship like? Were you doing resi maintenance? Were you doing construction? What were you doing?
So I did 2 years in resi maintenance, just as a local guy. I learned heaps there. Like it was really good. Then did 2 years in 2 years in my apprenticeship in commercial, big union sites and stuff. And
yeah. Okay. Interesting. And then you flew over to do a ride along with, was it, you went with Daniel, was it?
Yeah, Daniel, yeah.
Yeah. And how did you go there?
That was unreal.
Yeah.
Great bloke for one.
Great bloke.
No, but just seeing how, like, because obviously I did cashies and all that type of stuff before I started the business. And just seeing how much he could sell things for was, I think it's a belief breaker. You need to see it to believe it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just didn't believe I could charge that much. Like just for a switchboard upgrade, like he was doubling, tripling the prices that I was giving and he was winning them left, right and center when I was with him. So it was just, I think I needed to see that to start selling that much. I don't know.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, I think it is. I think you're right. You got to see it to believe it, because a lot of people listening in might be like, there is no way you did 15 grand in 1 week. Like we've got, like I speak to electricians every day, of course, and we've got people inquiring that they've got 2 trucks and they're doing 15 grand a month. Yeah. In your second week on the field in business, you did 15 grand. Yeah. Like that
was a crazy week.
It was very good.
Yeah.
That's insane, right? Second week, which is insane. Within 2 weeks. Now, and with Daniel on the ride along, like, did Daniel strike you as like a salesy guy, a pushy guy? Did he? No, what's he like?
He's just a cuddly bear, I reckon. You wouldn't imagine Daniel being a sales guy, but he crushes.
He gets it done.
Yeah, he gets it done for sure. But yeah, I think I've got somewhat of a similar sales mindset than him, like just being a real friendly guy and trying to just talk to the customer. Like I'll spend an average of an hour to an hour and a half at each quote, like just talking absolute garbage, going past their garden and being like, this is the best garden in the world. I've never seen anything better. And I think people eat that up as well. I think they love just having someone, like a person to talk to. It's not
100% human to human. You got to earn the right to present the price. You can't just go straight to the jugular, right? So that's why it's so important to spend the time and, have that process there so then you can convert, because heaps of guys are like, oh, I'm good at sales, I know how to upsell. And it's just like, but do you, bro?
Yeah.
do you? Like, are you hitting these numbers?
Yeah.
And so I think that's pretty important. But it's also a mindset shift, because you came from Melbourne to Sydney and you saw it happen. How come you didn't go, yeah, but that works in Sydney, it's not going to work in Melbourne? How come you didn't think like that?
I don't know. I think because I went straight at the start, I didn't really have a big idea of this is how much I charge. That's it. So I think just seeing it done in Australia, I think I came back to Melbourne, and Melbourne and Sydney are very similar as well. So but there's all those there's a lot of big companies that are charging double, triple what I'm charging.
Yes.
And it's like, if they can do it, why can't I charge this? Like I think it's a very limiting belief, believing that it's impossible to sell.
Oh my God, I love that. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. If there's humans there, right? If there is human to human, you can make this happen.
Yeah.
It's simple as that. Like the model works everywhere. Like that's, and you're bang on. It's a limiting belief that people have, like, you know, and that's why I brought it up, because you didn't have that limiting belief. You're just like, well, I just saw it happen.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
why wouldn't it happen in my area? And you just had the same thing in your area. And I think that's the big thing with electricians. It's like, think of it like this. If we just slow it down, it's just like, are you the most profitable company in your area right now?
Yeah.
Probably not.
100%. Yeah.
Probably not. Like you said, there are big companies that do COD work, B2C, B2B even, but let's just talk B2C space at the moment. Even B2C, but let's do both, B2B and B2C. There are companies right now that charge double, triple,
100%,
quadruple what you're charging right now, and they've got 20 more trucks than you, and they're doing it every day.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Like, so why can't you have a slice of that? Like, they're finding obviously a better type of customer. They're doing it, and if you're struggling to do one truck with it, well then, I don't know, maybe
scale it.
Do you reckon it's a system thing?
I think it's a system thing. I think it's just knowing what to say and having the confidence to say it as well. I think, and it all comes down to sales, and learning sales right at the beginning that's why I think it's the biggest lever to pull right at the start. It's the easiest lever to pull because it's a skill. It's nothing else. You don't have to spend money on it. There's a million sales trainings online. There's a million mentorships that you can do. And I think getting that base skill down pat is going to set your business up for success, because it's just everything sort of scales from there. If you've got it right from there, then you can spend money on marketing, you can spend money on getting trucks, you can spend money on getting boys in. Yeah.
But you got to have the system first.
You got to have the systems first. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. And well, another thing I want to touch on as well, because being in business for 6 months, most people are like, oh, I'm going to test the waters and I'm going to charge a little bit under just to break into the market. I don't think you did that.
No, right from the beginning, I didn't. No.
Yeah. So you price for profit from day one. You were just like, I think you probably, I'm not sure if it was us or what it was, but were you like, well, to grow to $1 million business, I'm very passionate about, you have to charge like one. If you're starting up, if you're a solo operator or larger, you still need to charge for your future outgoings. Like, do you agree with that sort of ideology?
Yeah, 100%. You have to I've always believed in getting things right from the get-go and then going from there, because it's harder to fix down the road than it is to fix or just begin with. It's always going to be tougher, because once you start getting a few boys in, and then you got to get them out to sell, and if they've always been taught to sell at $100 an hour, then they're not going to be able to sell anything near what
they're going to be programmed that no, any more than that's a ripoff, right?
100%, yeah, and they won't be confident. They won't be able to say that in front of a customer without laughing at themselves.
Oh, mate, I love this so much. That's awesome. So basically, the numbers don't lie at the end of the day. So people that are saying like, oh, but the 2.5K, like that's too much. It's not possible. You can't do it. They say I will eventually get to that stage. Yeah. What do you say to that? Like, rip off the Band-Aid and just start pricing for profit from day one?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Don't even start down a bad track. Just get on the right track from the get-go.
Yeah. Well,
get mentoring and learn what to do right from the get-go.
I love that. And what I see is like people go, oh, I'm going to grow this database, and they grow up, you know, they go, oh, I'm going to start off small and just, you know, get a few jobs. And it's kind of like the bottom feeder sort of mentality. And I think they're doing the right thing, but they actually don't understand that they're actually undercutting the market by doing this bottom feeder mentality. And they don't do it as a bad thing, but it's just the nature of the beast. And they build up this customer base, and then they get so busy doing work, and they're like, I need another guy. Yeah. So then they get another guy, and then when they pay the other guy, they go, well, I've got no money. Yeah. And it's just like that hamster wheel. It's just like, it's just like, well, it's because you weren't priced properly. And he goes, oh, but my customers will never pay more than that. I know that. Yeah. What do you say to that? Like, if my customers won't pay more than that, what do you do?
Well, I think the most important thing in business is your database. Like you can go blast out an email and you'll go make $2 million. I don't know.
Maybe not 2 million, but I've done an email that's made me like over 50,000.
Exactly right. Exactly right. But it's because you've got the customers that are used to spending that money. It's if you have a database that's shit and they know you charge $50 to put a download in or whatever it is, and you hit them with a new price, they're just going to turn around and tell you, F off. Like,
Yeah.
I think it is the most important part of the business as well, is having a good database to be able to bounce off and always keep
Remarket
that
to.
work back. Yeah.
100%. And and if you've got good content, good stuff, that's what works. Like I show everyone what I send, my electrical business, what emails, text messages, return customer sort of emails that we do. And yeah, they definitely pop. Like we haven't spent, any money on Google Ads in the last 4 months for a reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure, we've got that database, but it works. It's just, we live and breathe it. You know what I mean? We've got the ride-alongs as well. Like we show you exactly what works in real time, and you don't need to have a big company. But it's super, super important to price for profit regardless of size. I know you have, and the things I love about everything that you've done, Isaak, is you went straight into it and you were just like, well, if this company is charging that much, why can't I? Whereas most people are like, that company's charging that much because they're a rip-off.
They're a rip-off and they're killing their customers. Yeah, they don't, 100%.
So you've said, well, they're charging it, so why can't I? You've understand the numbers behind the business, so you're like, well, if I want this business to run, I actually have no choice. It's black and white.
Yeah.
It's not we spoke a little bit off camera, but it's not an emotional. Is pricing emotional?
No, can't be.
No, can't be. It comes down to numbers at the end of the day. And if you don't feel comfortable, I don't feel comfortable charging this.
Yeah.
It's just like, man, if you don't feel comfortable charging that, business isn't for you.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But I think it's just because people just haven't seen it.
Haven't seen it. Yeah, so maybe do the right. Maybe do the
ride
along. So maybe do the ride alongs. We've got actually quite a few. We've got Casper's coming on the pod as well. He's booked in for a ride along.
Yep.
Ben Bird Electrical is coming for. There's quite a few Melburnians that have come and done ride alongs, and one thing that they always say is they're surprised that the tactics and the strategy behind our sales process is not pushy or aggressive, or it's not rip off, or it's not doing ill by the customer at all. 0. 100%. Because just because you're winning, it doesn't mean your customers don't.
Yep.
Right. And we kind of mentioned they've got that tall poppy syndrome. And I know you celebrate wins. Are you happy to share some of your wins? Like, what's your best week that you've done?
Probably in December, I would say. I think I had it was either 20 or 25K week.
Wow.
Which was, that was a good one.
6 months in business, guys.
Yeah.
$20,000 to $25,000 done in 1 week at 6 months. Now, you're probably saying that and you're probably thinking, but that's just what it is, right? And I absolutely love that. But you got to understand, people have been doing this. And because I want to say this now, right? A lot of people say, oh, these young guys getting into the industry, they've got no idea and they're undercutting the market. I actually think a lot of the time, like you're 24, you're right?
Yeah.
I think it's some of the older guys that are stuck in their ways. What are your thoughts?
100%. But that's the thing. There is younger guys that are doing it too.
For sure.
But it's because they're learning off the older guys.
Yeah.
They've worked with someone and they see they're charging $100 for a PowerPoint or whatever, and they've just stuck to it because that's all they know.
Yeah.
So I think, it's the older guys that are teaching the younger guys bad habits. It's obviously not everyone's doing it, but
we're talking about the general pool.
The general pool,
The general pool. Guys, don't get emotional when you're listening to this stuff. We talk as a general pool. That's the thing, because everyone's like, oh, but I'm an older guy and I don't do that. It's like, okay, bro, okay. But like the general pool is you got guys that did the numbers maybe 20 years ago and they haven't done it since. And that's a problem. So $25,000 you were able to do in 1 week. So like that 40K per month per truck that we say that's the minimum you sort of hit. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, do you think that's achievable? Do you think it's not achievable?
Very achievable.
Very achievable.
Yeah, very achievable. I think
so. So the 40K per month is very achievable, and I think if you're pricing for less than that, I know so anyway. The reality is, if you're doing less than that, then you most probably should be better off on wages. And I think it's a technician in us, because a lot of people listen to the pod and they go, I love the pod and I want to do it, but I'm going to fix this in my business. But like 3 months goes past, nothing's changed, right?
Yeah.
So like, what do you think, like what are a few things that people need to do? Like, do you reckon they need to, I always say, get your pricing, sales and lead gen on point first, and then look at scaling. And it sounds like you've done that, because now you're looking to grow and get what are you looking to get? Like a tradesman or an apprentice to speed things up? What are you looking to do?
I think first hire is going to be a fourth. It should be an A grade, but I've got a 4th year in mind, and he's switched on. I've had him work with me a few times on weekends and stuff, and he's real switched on. So
He'll be an A grade soon then.
he'll be an A grade pretty soon as well. So yeah, I'm going to start with him, and then probably, hopefully by May, the plan is to get A grade with another van on the road.
Yeah, nice. Put another van. So 2 trucks, and you're less than 12 months in.
Yeah.
For most people, they're thinking like, nah, no chance. And you're gonna have people probably call you and say, oh, there's no way, 40K in a month. Like, how many? And to clarify, with the 26K week, like, how many guys did you have? Or was it 2025? Whatever it was. How many guys did you have to make that happen?
Well, half the week was just me, and then I had a subby with me for 3 days.
So you had a subcontractor for 3 days, and then the other half of the week was just you.
Just me, yeah.
Oh. I love this. I love this so much because it's well, what this is doing is it's showing what's possible. Yeah. 40 grand's the minimum, not the maximum. It's not uncommon for people to hit 70K, like I've mentioned before.
Yep.
But like, do you think that's possible? 70K with
100%. Yeah, I think February I'm probably looking at around that.
Oh my God, already.
Probably a little bit under, but
yeah,
around that.
Already.
Just so far, like I just hit the workflow. That's
so the 40's ticked.
Yeah,
it's looking probably like a 60,
around a 50 to 60,
50 to 60K sort of month.
Just with what I've booked in so far, it's looking like it will be.
You're an animal. You're an absolute animal, and that's because that's within 6 months. Whereas most people, like, I'm not just saying this. People have been just because people have been in business for 30 years or 50 years, it doesn't mean they know what they're doing.
No. Well, it's a completely different thing. I think that you can be a very good Sparky, but if you don't know anything about business, it's a completely different ball game. Yeah. Starting your business compared to just being a good Sparky, you need to know everything around business. I think that's the most important lever to pull.
Oh, 100%. I love that. And I think what I've seen is the better the Sparky you are, the worse at business you are, because you overthink everything. And Sparkies like to just, they go, oh, but is it too much? Can I do that? And they overthink the pricing, but it's just like, look at the numbers, look at the reality. That's what it is, right? And you're currently doing, I just want to congratulate you. Like, you're doing bigger numbers than most people. And that's why I wanted to have you on the pod, because I was like, mate, we celebrate success here. It shouldn't be a taboo thing. It shouldn't be like, oh, nah, this guy's an idiot or this guy doesn't. It's just like, well, look, man, you've knuckled down. You've invested in your training. You've done the ride along to be like, let's really see what's possible and let's crush it, because you didn't wait to. And I think you got a lack of ego. Like, a lot of people have this ego and they're like, no, I know what I'm doing. I'll fix it. I'll sort it out. I'll find a way. But then nothing happens. Like, what do you say about that? Like, 100%. Do you say that?
Yeah, I think just having the mentorship around it. You need to have mentorship. You need to know what's possible. So yeah, I think it's definitely important to invest straight away and just know what to do from the get-go.
Yeah, nice. And what are your plans with Greenway Electrical? I know you said you're looking to get this 40/A grade on. That's gonna be happening in your company in the next sounds like very shortly, right?
Yeah,
like
probably in the next 2 months. Yeah.
In the next 2 months. Okay, cool. And then after that, where do you see Greenway going? Because you do electrical and HVAC as well.
Yeah, we do. I've just got a refrigeration company that we work with.
Okay.
So he does all the refrigeration side. I do all the electrical side.
So you got a collab.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's great. I love that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think this year the goal is 7 figures. Have 3 boys working for me, and then I'm just sort of focusing on the short term at the moment. So yeah, this year the goal is just 3 boys, 7 figures. I want to get that in within a year of business. So
7 figures, 3 guys. A lot of people are like, oh, you need more guys. And even to do that 50, 60 grand month, a lot of people are like, I'll do that. Like, let's say hypothetically for 40,000, this gets me excited. Because too often people go, I would hit 40,000 if I had more guys.
Yeah.
What do you say to that?
Sell harder.
Yeah. If you can't hit 40,000 by yourself, you're not gonna, like, more guys isn't gonna do it. And the whole point of that $40,000 a month is based off one truck.
Yeah.
40,000 is one truck. It's not off,
spread over 3 blokes. Yeah. 100%.
If you have another truck or another guy, well, then you got to double that to 80,000. So if you're not hitting it with you're not hitting 40,000 with one truck, what makes you think you're going to hit it with 3 trucks or 2 trucks or more? Like you're not going to be hitting those numbers. Like that's how it's planned out. And unfortunately, guys, I don't want to be that guy, but you tell me, is it the reality?
I think, once you put in all your overheads, everything on top, it's just not going to be a scalable business.
Yeah.
If you're not hitting those numbers, minimum.
Oh, I love that. Yes. So you're looking to do 7-figure Sparky on the way. Sounds like you're going to be hitting that within 12 months within the first year of your business.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. I can see. I already know you can. I already know you. Like you're posting those wins. You won't allow it to happen. I think you've got this this drive, which is absolutely amazing. I think don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I've got a very big saying that I heard from Gino Wickman. He's got this book called Traction. Have you heard Traction?
Yeah.
You've read it?
Yeah.
See, you already know, man. And so that author, what he says is, let your freak flag fly. I'm not sure. Have you heard that before? No. Okay. So when I heard that, I was like, oh my God, like that just made me feel normal. Because sometimes when you got that drive and you like $1 million in your first, to get to 7 figures within 12 months of your first year, I should say, even more, not within 12 months, within the first year of business, to hit, a 20K plus week within the first 6 months, to hit 40K plus months consistently, not just a one-off 40K, the next one's 10, but consistently hit upwards of 40,000 within the first 6 months of your business. That is absolutely amazing. And I hope your story sort of starts inspiring people to sort of be like, what is actually possible, right?
Yeah.
And you're probably thinking at the moment, I know how you're thinking because you're an entrepreneurial guy. You're probably thinking, yeah, but I may have hit 50, 60 grand in this month, but there's so much more to go, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking? So you're thinking on the future?
100%. Yeah. Well, this year it's just focused on this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do want to have a longer time horizon as well after this year and start looking at the 10-year, 20-year, it's everything like that. But yeah, I think that's the most important part as well, is having a mentor to just tell you what to do as well. So you can just check things off the checklist. It just keeps going, and then you get the next thing done.
Yes.
Just asking questions constantly is very important.
You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
No, that's exactly right. It's already been done.
It's already been done. And do you have any others, like what sort of books? Do you have any books that you want to give a shout out to, or any? Yeah, like what are some books that you think are?
I think Hormozy's books. I love Hormozy.
Yeah.
So I've read both his books.
Hormozy's goat. Yeah, he's great.
He's great. Yeah. And then I've been reading Jocko Willink's book at the moment, Dichotomy of Leadership.
Oh, right. I haven't read it.
That's really good.
Yeah, right.
That's been awesome. But just because I'm looking at hiring, and obviously I've never really run teams or anything like that. I've never had an employee. So I'm trying to read up as much as I can about that type of stuff. And yeah, that book's been awesome so far.
Yeah. I do you read them or audio books?
It's a mix. I have the book and I listen to the audio
at the same time.
Yeah. I just listen to
one of them
1.5.
I know quite a few people that do that, but look, I'm very big on I've got a big list. I just love audiobooks. Like nothing better. Like it might sound so weird, but going on the beach, listening to an audiobook and just kicking back, like that's my ideal Sunday.
I do sometimes just listen to audiobooks, but if I really want to focus on a book, I get both. Because I just I've got a bit of ADHD, I reckon. I just start looking around the room if I'm listening to an audio.
TikTok, Instagram, I don't think doesn't help with that, right? So I think there's that. What's that? The last one that I think is really good to read, especially on sales, is Never Split the Difference. Chris Voss.
Okay, that's
a really good book. It's like an FBI negotiator. It's I think it's a longer audio book, but it's pretty cool to listen to as well. A lot of good insights in that. Especially in negotiations, objection handling, things like that. But Hormozy's a goat for sure. And I think it's just onwards and upwards. And do you have any closing statements for any of the Sparkies out there? Like any final messages? If you had a message to say, Sparkies, stop undercutting or whatever it might be. I don't know. What would you say?
I would say don't get upset when it gets hard. Get happy, because not a lot of people will go through the hard.
Yes.
So being able to be happy when you're going through the hard because you know no one else is going to do it is a very good mindset to have.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah.
That is deep. I like that. I like that. So you're on the right track when like when the going gets tough, the tough get going, right?
Yeah,
like
that's exactly
it's a
right.
full Australia thing. And who do you go for in the AFL?
At Geelong.
Geelong.
Yeah, Cats. Yeah.
We had Ben on here. I forgot to mention shout out because I know he's a Bomber supporter. So is Jared. I don't know what the AFL is, guys.
Yeah,
I'm from
yeah,
Sydney. I know, and you guys got a really good team. You got Melbourne Storm here, like Craig Bellamy. If you want leadership, mate, look no further than the NRL. Craig Bellamy, he's a goat. You know what I mean?
I don't even know what you're saying right now.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're talking. We're in the same country. We're talking different languages.
100%.
Talking two completely different sports. But I don't think I can get into AFL. Maybe I've got to go to a game this year and check it out.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go check out a Bombers game or a Geelong game or something.
Yeah.
But all I know is on the when it's AFL season, the guys jump on the calls and they're like, "Go the Bombers" or "Go Geelong, go Carlton." I'm just like, fuck are you guys saying?
Hit them back with "Go Roosters."
Yeah, that's it. I'll go for Para, and they just let me down every year. Let's be honest. It's every year's going to be Parramatta's year, but I don't think Raz, it's going to be Parramatta's year. We'll see. And then on that note, we'll shut up, man. Isaak, I'm super pumped to have you here. Really appreciate you coming onto the pod, sharing your insight on what is possible, especially being so fresh into business. That's why I wanted to have you on. And showing that how you didn't have limiting beliefs allowed you to absolutely smash it in business. Like you did everything the opposite to most people. You didn't undercut the market. You didn't test the waters. You didn't test out lead gen. You had, like I said, you said it, the checklist.
Yep.
You looked at it. You implemented. You saw what is possible. You surrounded yourself with like-minded individuals, and you're crushing it, and you got it done, and it's all you. It's all on you. It's not anyway. It's all Isaak, just absolutely crushing it. So thanks for coming on, Isaak.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Easy, and that's a wrap.